All right, thank you, Joshua. Well, LeFlore County is preparing to lay to rest Deputy Thomas LeMay, who was killed on Sunday in a standoff. They're not alone during this tough time. There's a massive amount of support pouring in from all over the state. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach shows us the impact Deputy LeMay's legacy has left behind.
Behind me is Deputy LeMay's vehicle that's been here at the courthouse for the past few days. We were here yesterday, and it looks like that just overnight, the amount of items in front of his truck have doubled, with flags, cards, flowers, and handwritten notes from all of those who loved him. Friends of Deputy LeMay tell us that anytime they called him for help, he showed up. Now, one local business owner is turning her support into action. Julia Haney, who owns a local boutique, says LeMay was a passionate coyote hunter, and she's honoring him by selling t-shirts, hats, and other items, with all proceeds going directly to his family. She says above all, LeMay's most important role was being a father.
It will remind Deputy LeMay's family, especially his 5-year-old daughter, that her daddy was and always will be remembered as a hero. I've seen firsthand the sacrifices that come with the badge, the long hours, the risk, and the unwavering commitment to protecting others.
This memorial is just one of the many ways that the county has been rallying around Deputy LeMay and his family, and as expressed in these handwritten notes that we did get a chance to read, his service and his sacrifice will never be forgotten. In LeFlore County, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Thank you, Claire. We also learned the other officer injured in the shooting, Worcester Police Chief Andy Thompson, is back home and recovering. Now, for those wanting to pay their respects today, viewing will last until 9 p.m. at Dowden Roberts Funeral Home in Heavener. LeMay's funeral is 2 p.m. tomorrow at the Heavener High School gym, where the schools will transition to virtual for the day. Those with the sheriff's office will serve as pallbearers, and the law enforcement community will serve as honorary pallbearers. Following the service, LeMay will be laid to rest at Muse Cemetery in South LeFlore County. And the suspect, 36-year-old Edgar Lara, is now in custody and awaiting formal charges. Investigators say Lara barricaded himself inside a home off of Highway 270 where the shooting happened and fired at responding officers, sparking an hours-long standoff. Deputy LeMay was pronounced dead at the scene. We'll stay on top of the latest developments and charges as they come into our newsroom. Well, and a nationally recognized nonprofit is among those stepping up to help LeFlore County get through this tough time. The Brotherhood for the Fallen provides emotional and financial support to families, departments, and communities after the loss of an officer. Members of the Arkansas chapter are now coordinating travel with others as they prepare to stand with Deputy LeMay's family.
We give them a support check from each chapter to start the mending process, whether it be to pay for the mortgage, whether it be pay a car payment, whether it's to take the family members on a vacation, whatever they need to do. We have no stipulations on how they use the money.
The organization says its mission is to make sure no officer's sacrifice or family is ever forgotten. The fragile truce between Iran and the United States is extended indefinitely for now, but attacks have been reported in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. naval blockade on Iranian-linked ships also continues. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
Tracking software shows 2 ships seized by Iran near the Iranian coastline in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says one of the ships is connected to Israel and claims both were trying to leave the strait without its authorization. It also says it attacked and disabled a 3rd ship. The seizures come just hours after President Trump announced he was extending the ceasefire with Iran. President Trump cited fractures in Iran's government and said he'll give them more time to submit a unified proposal. International relations professor Eric Loeb says there's a combination of moderates and hardliners.
You have a plethora of individuals and institutions in Iran that are part of the decision-making process, starting with the supreme leader, the president, the parliament, and different advisory bodies around those individuals and institutions.
There's no word yet on when the U.S. delegation could travel for another round of in-person talks after the vice president's trip to Islamabad was put on hold Tuesday.
Pakistan's prime minister met with the Iranian ambassador Wednesday. He later praised President Trump for giving more time for the talks. On the ground in Tehran, some residents say they stayed awake all night to see if the war would continue and describe a feeling of uncertainty. One citizen said the way things currently are, one doesn't know what to do. Others are calling for their country to stand firm. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The Fayetteville Farmers Market is officially expanding, but without vendors being able to sell alcohol. Fayetteville City Council approved the expansion plans Tuesday night. The market will now run 2 months longer from March until Christmas. It will also add hours to Tuesday nights and expand 1 block east on Mountain Street. Now, vendors selling alcohol was also proposed, but council members said, no, amending the rule based on feedback from stakeholders and concerns that the whole measure would not pass. The new rules go into effect right away. And happening today, the city of Fayetteville will also hold an open house on safety improvements along North Gregg Ave. Community members can see early design concepts and give feedback at the Pack Rat Outdoor Center starting at 4. The city says in 2023, it received a $25 million Safe Streets and Roads for All grant from the U.S. Department of Transportation. The city says its goal is to eliminate deadly and severe crashes, and it also says Gregg Avenue is a Razorback transit route that carries an average of at least 10,000 vehicles every day.